The international newsnet World Report is a national television news show available in more than 30 million homes. We broadcast daily real news the networks won't tell you. We are solely viewer-supported. That means you. You can donate at our website, inenworldreport.net. We hope you find the following interview informative and helpful.
Lockheed Martin has been awarded a 5-year contract by the Department of Defense for a new automated biometric identification system. The system will consolidate, store, and search fingerprint data collected worldwide by the DoD. This new system will be patterned after the $1 billion integrated automated fingerprint identification system which Lockheed Martin developed and now maintains for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The FBI's database is the world's largest, with fingerprint and criminal data on more than 55 million subjects. But you might not need be a criminal to get on one of these high-tech lists. The Fourth Amendment is fast joining probable cause as an antiquated model for living in this free country. To explain this little infringement on the Constitution, we're joined on the phone by Melissa Ngo, who is Senior Counsel and Director of the Identification and Surveillance Project at the Electronic Privacy Information Center. Melissa has looked very closely at the Real ID Act, the U.S. Visit Program, government camera systems, RFIDs, federal watch lists, and quite a bit more. Welcome to the International Newsnet, Melissa.
Thank you.
Melissa, why are they building these lists?
Well, the FBI and actually various governments throughout the world are gathering massive biometrics databases in order to be able to identify people no matter whether they are a criminal or an honest citizen.
Are these lists tied to the travel industry? Are they tied to mostly people coming in the country? And how are they organized?
Well, the biometrics database includes fingerprints, iris scans, palm prints, various other types of biometrics. Now, the Department of Homeland Security is gathering fingerprints from foreign visitors, and from U.S. citizens, they're gathering fingerprints and iris scans when the U.S. citizens are frequent flyers who want to be part of the fast-track registered traveler program. The European Commission is seeking to gather fingerprints from tourists and business travelers who come into Europe. So when you add it all together, it can end up being a massive international system. In the United States, the FBI already has asked Europe to create this international system with them in order to gather and share the biometrics data.
So our personal data in this country is being shared with other countries. How does this correlate to our rights as U.S. citizens and our constitutional rights?
There are a lot of privacy, civil liberty, and security problems connected with the gathering and dissemination of all of this data, because you have to understand that some of it is inaccurate or fake. So the government is basing their information. So the government is basing their investigations on information that's inaccurate or fake. One high-profile example of when biometrics use went badly wrong was in 2004, a man in Oregon was mistakenly linked to the Madrid train bombings because fingerprints found at the scene were mismatched to him. The FBI admitted the mistake, and the Department of Justice had to investigate the problem. The FBI said that the problem was with the original print, but authorities in Spain said that they told the FBI that the prints didn't match this Oregon man, yet he was still arrested and interrogated on the basis of data that was just plain wrong. When you think about that, you can see just how scary this database can be.
Now, let's look at these databases. In the past, we have seen personal information shared. I wouldn't have to say shared. I'd have to say sold for a profit by industries within this country. We've even seen voter registration rolls proffered out by those who got a hold of them. Is this information safe in the hands of not only our government but other governments? And have people really considered, if this information got out, how it not only violates our privacy, how it could be used against us?
Well, sensitive personal data has not been well protected by the U.S. government. If you'll remember, just a couple of years ago, the Veterans Affairs Department lost and had stolen the personal information about 26.5 million current service members and veterans and their families. This included health information, their Social Security information. There have been any number of other security breaches as part of the U.S. government, so there are significant questions about whether or not they could actually keep this information safe.
Now, we've seen in the past these techniques used before, facial recognition, imaging, and, of course, fingerprints. Now, we also see in the newspaper almost every day that a DNA fingerprint is now being used, DNA analysis to match people up. What is the future? They're putting $1 billion, certainly, in the FBI version of this, and maybe an equal amount in the DOD's version of it. Is this going backwards in technology? Is it going forward in technology? And how does this compare to them doing this genetic fingerprinting they talk about now?
Well, with the FBI, they're trying to link this massive biometrics database with other unproven technologies. For example, you brought up face recognition technology. Last year, in the world's first large-scale scientific study where face recognition technology was used to pick individuals out of a crowd, the technology had a failure rate of up to 90% at night and up to 40% during the day. This many people would be incorrectly identified, leading to possible interrogations and arrests based on these mistakes. And the massive biometrics database and the rapid expansion of face recognition, other still unproven technologies, are yet more steps towards a world where every individual would be constantly tracked and scrutinized, no matter their innocence or guilt.
Melissa, is there any way to put a limit on this as our constitutional liberties are eroded?
Well, there are constitutional protections in terms of the warrant requirement. I mean, there should be and there is a process, a legal process, wherein the government, if they have suspicions that a judge agrees to, will be able to gather such personal biometric information through the warrant process.
But what we're saying right here is that the FBI and the DOD are gathering this information anyway with no probable cause, no warrant. They're just going out and gathering it on every person on the earth they can possibly find. They're sharing it between different governments. How do we deal with this? How do we protect ourselves from this infringement?
Well, individuals need to stand up and say, no, I will not give my biometric information for a frequent flyer program. I will not.
But Melissa, let me interrupt you. Do you have a choice? Every time you go into an airport, you're one step closer to strip search just to get onto the airplane. How do you, if you say no to somebody with TSA, you could be in for a problem no matter what they ask for.
I understand. And there are significant difficulties with individuals standing up for their private rights. However, it must be done. I mean, the problem comes when people just accept that they should give up their rights.
Melissa Ngo, is there anything else you'd like to add on this very sensitive topic before we have to go?
Well, I would also like to add that the FBI is allowing employers to send in their employees' fingerprints so that the employer can know whenever an individual is arrested. This means that even if a person is innocent of the crime, her employer may choose to fire her just because she was mistakenly arrested and charged. This flips innocent until proven guilty on its head.
It sounds frightening also. Melissa Ngo, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the International Newsnet.
Thank you.